The Wild update is Caves and Cliffs Part 3. Change my mind. Welcome back. My name is Echo. Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Let's talk about Minecraft 1.19, the Wild update, because I strongly believe for a Wild update, it is not wild enough. As of today, I am bringing back the Minecraft Q&A series. I'm curious if anybody's still around on the channel that remembers my old Minecraft Q&A series. Now, how this works is all you need to do is leave Minecraft-related questions down below in the comment section. It can be about missing features. It can be about future updates. If you agree with somebody else's comment and question, all you then need to do is be sure to hit that like button, and I will answer your question in a future video. It is that simple. Now, before we get into this is no hate towards the Minecraft developers. I am super excited for the Wild update. Well, I'm gonna call it Caves and Cliffs Part 3. However, it goes back to what I said at the start. The Wild update is Caves and Cliffs Part 3. It is not wild enough. During that tweet, it gained a lot of traction, and I was getting other people's opinions on this, and you can clearly see that people somewhat agree. Now, when the developers announced a Wild update, I was expecting more wild features. This is technically either Caves and Cliffs Part 3 or a Swamp update. It's not exactly a wild update. Again, there is no hate towards the developers, because what I think they've done here is, of course, we had Caves and Cliffs Part 1 and Caves and Cliffs Part 2. They didn't want to do the same mistake and have to call this next update Caves and Cliffs Part 3. So what they've done here is, instead of getting a lot of hate because it's taken 3 updates for one update, they've changed the name to this update. To understand what I am talking about, we have to go back to the latest Minecon event. Let's talk about this. This is the Minecraft Birch Forest concept. I'm not going to say that we were promised for this to be updated, because I know I'm going to get a couple of people in the comment section saying, yeah, but Echo, it's just the concept art. They never said it was going to be introduced. Well, if it was never going to be introduced, why would you take the time to show us the preview, the concept art for a Birch Forest, which is obviously going to get the Minecraft community's hopes up? That shouldn't happen. If they knew they were not going to introduce this to the game, don't show us at all. So it looks like the Birch Forest is going to also be introduced to the futures that could be introduced in the future. Remember, they told us they were going to introduce an update to, I think it was deserts, badlands, savannas. It looks like the Birch Forest is there. There could be even more features that could possibly be introduced to the future. But anyway, Echo, what's the point in today's video? Because the Wild update hasn't been released yet. Now, you're right, and we could see the surprise of these features introduced. However, I highly doubt it. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because the 1.19 snapshots and betas are starting to slow down. They're starting to slow down on new features introduced to the game, and they are starting to focus on bug fixes and stability. You can see it in the latest betas and snapshots. There's less new features introduced. And let's not forget, the copper goat horn is actually going to be a feature that will not be introduced to Minecraft in this next update. It was in fact a feature that was removed. There is one feature that was announced during Minecon that has not been introduced in this mangrove swamp update. Yes, that is Fireflies. Now, what I think has happened here is when they announced Fireflies for Minecraft, the developer said that frogs on occasions could eat fireflies. Later on down the line, the developers have done their research on frogs and fireflies, and there are several species of fireflies that can be poisonous if a frog eats them. So they've decided to scrap that, and the frogs, that's the reason why they eat slimes and magmas. So that leaves fireflies missing. However, I strongly believe that Minecraft needs some ambient mobs, or things like creatures like fireflies. They don't necessarily have to do anything, but I think they would change your overall ambient feel. What do you think about that? That doesn't mean that the developers never tried to introduce fireflies. If you type this specific command in the latest betas and previews, there is actually a listing for fireflies. The overall plan was, of course, to introduce this to the Bedrock version along with frogs, because the Bedrock version seen frogs first. They were doing some features on Java, some features on Bedrock, and then switching them over. Again, the plan was to have frogs eat the fireflies, and then they were like, oops, we can't do that because they're poisonous and the frogs could die, which I think is a little bit stupid, and I hate the fact that Minecraft's doing a lot of realism these days. Nonetheless, fireflies were planned and were probably in development, and then they halted the development. But that doesn't mean we might not see new features introduced to the game. However, this is where I'm going to change your mind. Check out this tweet from Minecraft News. They tweeted saying the promo art is ready. Advancements have been added. Music and the new theme Panoramic are here, so the wild update is quite close to being fully complete. Now, in that image, you can see the person with a mangrove boat. It is a mangrove boat chest. They have the allay. There is no sign of fireflies. There is no sign of the Birch Forest update. And I know you guys are going to say, but Echo, there is also no sign of the mangrove swamp. Well, check this out. This is the current panoramic background for Minecraft Java Edition. It is also available for Bedrock Edition in beta and preview. However, the beta background and the preview background overlap it. There is absolutely no sign of the Birch Forest changes. So I reckon it is a matter of time until developers go, listen, we couldn't quite get the Birch Forest features introduced. It's gonna come in, let's say, the next update. Or maybe it's gonna be like 1.19 and a half. I have no idea how they're gonna do it. But the longer they leave it, the more disappointed the Minecraft community is going to be. I made a list, and here is the list. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything here. What you can see ticked is what I consider to be the wild update features. That being the frog mob, frog light, tadpoles and a bucket of tadpole. You've got the mangrove swamp and the mangrove wood variants. Now there is a lot of wood variants. Couldn't list them. So I do appreciate that. We have the boat with a chests, because there's tons of them. There's not just one. We have the mud and the mud variations. Again, there is tons of blocks being introduced to this version. The ones that are unticked being the goat horn. I don't class that as a wild update feature. It's actually been in the game for quite some time. It's probably a caves and cliffs feature in my opinion. We have skulk and skulk blocks. There is a lot of them. You've got skulk sensors, skulk catalyst, skulk shriekers, skulk veins, the skulk itself. You have music disc 5. That is, and the fragments, by the way, that is definitely not a wild update feature. The LA mob, you could probably argue that that is a wild update feature, but I'm just going to say it's a mob vote feature, so it's not a wild update one. We have the recovery compass, we have the warden mob, ancient cities, and deep dark biome. Those are 100% caves and cliffs part 3 features. So yeah, I feel like I just needed to make this video because every time I make a beta or a preview video, everyone's like, where are fireflies? Still no fireflies. Where's the Birch Forest update? Still no Birch Forest update. Now, don't get distracted by that list. There is a lot of features being introduced to the game. There is a lot of Bedrock features that have been introduced that are Java parity features. We're getting spectator mode. There is tons of features, but again, they're not wild enough. I wanted to see like definitely at least 2, 3, 4, 5 different biomes being updated. I think what the developers have done here is they just didn't want to have to make another update that was going to spill into another update. So yeah, don't be alarmed if they announce a release date or a pre-release at some point very, very soon. If you made it this far in today's video, let me know in the comment section, but please give me your questions. I would love to do another Q&A episode. It can be about anything Minecraft related, past updates, future updates, features that we currently have, features that are missing. Just leave your comments. I'll see you all in the next video.